Right, so a right little behind the scenes bit of a video for you guys. Yeah, excuse my slightly bodgy tank holding uppy business. Just fucking hell, this Fireblade. So, long story short, this Fireblade, CBR900RR, it's done 3,500 miles from new. It's 20 years old. Guy contacted me. It's been stood for ages and ages. Jim, can you come and pick it up, take it away, get it going, put some new boots on it, MOT it, you know, just wants to use it next year, basically. Yeah, no problem. So I'll flash a picture of what the inside of the fuel tank looked like. Yeah, pretty bad. So, long story short, the tank is now clean. It's got a new fuel pump in it. It had new set of plugs, changed the oil and filter, new fuel filter in with a fuel pump, you know, that the gubbins inside the tank, basically all new inside the tank, new pipes, new filter, new pump, because the pump was locked up solid. Started it, ran like a champ. It's like, fucking hell, that was not easy, but, you know, it ran perfectly. Did the rest of the work to it, thought, I'll take it for its MOT. I thought, I'll go the long way round. Went and had a spin on it. About 2 miles into my journey, it started misfiring at small throttle openings, and they got progressively worse and worse and worse. By the time I got back to the workshop, it was on 2 cylinders, not running on the centre 2, not running on the outside 2. So I thought, what the hell's gone on here? Took the tank, got the tank up, got the plugs out, and the plugs were literally wringing wet. I mean, you could shake the fuel off the end, and was like, what the hell has happened here? I thought the injectors must be stuck, because that was the other thing I did. I cleaned the injectors too, in my as new injector servicing machine, and they were fine. I thought, that's weird, the injectors must be stuck open. It just, I mean, it was, you could literally look into the cylinder with a bore scope down where the plug is, and there was fuel sloshing around on top of the piston. I was like, how is it that wet in there? So I thought the injectors got to be stuck open. So I pulled the injectors out, put them back in the test rig. Nope, injectors absolutely fine. Thought, well, they must be driven open then. So got me pico scope on it. This is a secondary, not injector, but yeah, the injectors were getting 2.5 milliseconds of fuel. So there was no problem there. I've just been chasing my tail, going round and round in circles for the last half an hour, looking at secondaries and injector waveforms. It's like, how is it so rich? It's getting, they're all on a common fuel rail, so these 2 center cylinders are running absolutely perfectly, and these outside 2 are rich as buggery, but they're on the same fuel rail, so they're getting the same fuel pressure. I could show you a comparison between the injector wave. In fact, I'll maybe flash that up on the screen, but they're getting 2.5 milliseconds of fuel at sort of idly speeds. I'm just comparing these 2 cylinders because this is a good one and this isn't running. This is rich. So same fuel pressure, same, fucking hell, speak Jim, same fuel pressure, same, been driven the same, the injectors 2.5 milliseconds at idle. It's like, how is this so rich and this one running perfectly? And I've just discovered what's wrong with it, and I'm kicking myself a little bit for not noticing sooner, but I'm going to see if I can capture this on camera. So if I open the throttle, and right, this is fucking nearly impossible to film one-handed. I've got to open the throttle, hold the camera, and turn the ignition on with only 2 hands. Hang on a second, if I turn it on quick, fuel pump. See that fuel running down in there? Did you see that? I'll do it one more time. See that fuel? Initially I thought, oh, that's the injector just stuck open. But it's not. There's a vacuum pipe down here which goes up to the fuel pressure regulator. So the diaphragm in this fuel pressure regulator, because this is a vacuum pipe which goes to number 1 and number 4. The diaphragm in this fuel pressure regulator is buggered, and it's bleeding fuel pressure through from the fuel rail into the... Can you fucking believe it? Honestly, this thing has done my head in. Anyway, I thought I'd share that. I was excited to find the fix. I was like, I need to tell the world I fixed this motorbike. Well, I haven't fixed it yet, but a new fuel pressure regulator will fix it. Okay, guys, so just a little bit more detail on my diagnosis, or my fuck up of a diagnosis, really. I should have just used me peepers and noticed the problem, but there you go, I didn't. There's a lesson there for all of us. Don't try and bloody overcomplicate your diagnosis. Go for the simple stuff first. Anyway, so injector waveforms that I looked at, which basically I was interested. Number 2 cylinder was 2 and 3 were running fine. 1 and 4 were flooding. I was interested in whether the number 1 injector or number 4 injector were being held open by the engine computer, causing the super rich condition. So what I did was I've back probed these 2 injectors, number 1 and number 2 injector are back probed, so I can take waveforms from them. And then I've got a second-hand fuel pressure regulator in it now, so it's fixed, and it's a couple of days later, but I'm just filming this extra bit for the video. So let me just show you what I was looking at. So this is me Pico scope. Excuse me. This is number 1 injector, and this is number 2 injector. The reason there, I'm triggering off number 1, number 2 is over here because they're sequentially fired. I won't get into that, but we could get into that if you guys are interested. I'll do more videos on this subject because I do kind of like to geek out on this a little bit. So what I was looking at was I was comparing number 1 and number 2. What we can do is I just zoom in on this piece here, and then we can get some, it's kind of difficult to do it whilst filming, but we can put some cursors on here, get a sense of how much fuel it's getting. So what's that, 2.2 milliseconds. It's slightly richer when it's cranking, but yeah, you get the idea. So I was comparing the 2 waveforms to see what, you shut that down, yeah, to see how much fuel it was getting. And then what I could have done actually is I could have seen this waveform here. There's this little, it's kind of hard to see, might be able to zoom in. See this little bump here? It's called a pintle hump. So that's mechanical movement in the injector. So I could have looked at that as well, but I had my test rig out on the bench anyway, so I just pulled the injectors and put them in there to doubly check that they weren't leaking or anything. Anyway, it's fixed. Back to the video. Anyway, thought I'd share that sort of slightly interesting little 5-minute behind the scenes video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one. Bye.